All right, folks, it's Miguel Murphy, and
Joshua Arjona.
we're back to continue the conversation. The last topic was trust in the process.
Definitely,
Right?
definitely.
And I think we can both agree that, the process, there's
Yes.
always a process
Right,
to get
right.
to a certain place.
Yep.
And sometimes it's scripted. There's steps, right, that you can follow. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it gets you to 5.
Right.
Other times, it's very cloudy.
Yes, yes.
And
yes.
very cloudy. You just don't know, right? You may doubt that you may need to go 1, 3, 2,
Right,
and back to 5,
Yeah.
right? Or up, left, right. You may have to do a zigzag. So sometimes there's no sort of direct route in the process to get to that place of success.
Definitely. And understanding a couple of things will help you. First and foremost, I think we have to be in an attitude of gratitude. I think being positive is very important. And I know people say, oh, yeah, being positive. I hear that all the time. But it's not emphasized enough. Being positive helps everything flow better. When something happens to you that doesn't necessarily make you feel good, it's not the negative that helps you move past it. It's the positive that will help you, that will strengthen you to go to the next step. And it's important with success, especially because if you achieve success, and people have achieved success of a negative connotation or of a negative vibe, it's going to manifest itself in your success. So once you become successful, and what I mean by that is once you become successful and you weren't as positive as you should have been on your way there, then you haven't cleared out everything that needs to be cleared out to be able to start that success and enjoy that success, so to speak. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you want to celebrate something, you can't celebrate it with negativity in your heart or in your mind, because it stops. It kind of takes away from your achievement. You've achieved something. You want to be positive so that now you can let your positivity now flow into what you're doing. Let's say, for example, it's a new position that you may have achieved. You can't start your position with that feeling of negativity and then bring that negativity in. You know what I'm saying? Or you can't go to your next class and be like, yeah, I was successful last semester with this negativity, and I'm gonna bring that into these new set of classes. No, because then that makes you a bitter individual or a bitter student, and that's not gonna help you when you need to be receptive to that new information that's coming in.
So, success looks different for, it may look different from one person to the next.
Right,
you know?
right.
It may, like I may have been, or in different aspects
Okay.
of our lives.
Yes.
Right? Whether it be personal, academic, professional.
Yes.
You may be strong and successful in one area and need improvement in another.
Truth.
And it's different for all, right?
Yep.
And sometimes I think in our last conversation, what we were getting to is that, again, you need to kind of assess where you are.
Right. Right.
And then set some goals, short term, midterm,
And if I
long
could,
term.
put a tack right there, when you said assess where you are, and I have another point here that I think will help with that. We have to let every emotion that comes with where we are right now run its course. If you're upset, be upset. We're not saying don't be upset. If you got less than a favorable grade on that exam, be upset. If that's the emotion that comes immediately, let that flow, because then you would have already allowed that emotion to take its course or to run its course, and then you don't have to worry about that anymore. If you feel sadness, fine, let's get that on out the way too, and then you can start to realize that what's happening is for a reason, not just
Absolutely.
you know, oh, somebody, you know, you can get rid of those feelings that, oh, they're picking on me, or the professor doesn't like me, or whatever
Right.
the case is, you know, that's, you know, that was supposed to be for me. You can get all of that stuff out.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that you, like, once again, I'm not saying that you should not feel that way. I'm actually saying that you should give that,
I agree.
give that emotion its due time and in that place, and allow it to run its course, so that way you're not harboring anything. It's not going with you to where you're ultimately going to, you know, have to get rid of it or have somebody talk to you about it when you become, or when you get to where you're going.
Absolutely. And also finding that safe space too,
Right.
where you can vent, right? And it's not judgmental, like you, oh, it didn't work out, and now you're having a fit, right?
And see, you must have been looking at my points, because that is the next.
We hang out too much.
We do. That's what it is, man. And that's exactly what I was going to say next. And not only the safe place, speak to somebody.
Yeah, you have
Talk
to.
to somebody who, and talk to somebody who's going to give you sound advice. You know, that's going to say, one is going to listen to you and let you get all of those emotions out, let you get all that out, and then, you know, assess where you are and give you some steps or a formula, so to speak, on how to maneuver through the emotion and then move forward to logic, which is ultimately going to get you to where you need to be.
Absolutely. So it's, as Josh is saying, it's okay to share and have even sadness.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
definitely. I mean, it's
that
an
grade is
emotion.
like, you know, like
Yeah.
you really worked hard and you didn't
Right.
get that A.
Yep.
And you know, I'm speaking. But you had a B plus, and you didn't get that A. You could be sad.
Right. That's
You
the.
know?
It's a regular. It's a
And
natural
then
emotion.
You can assess, like, what didn't happen
Right.
that could have taken you to that A.
Right. Because that's going to make you now start thinking, okay, what can I do? And you may not know. Like, if this is your first semester, you're really not going to know. You're going to need to go talk to someone.
Yeah. And from an advising standpoint, I often share, like, this is not the time to go crawling, you know, like, we can't find you because
Right.
you're so removed or so sad that, or embarrassed
Yeah.
that it didn't work out in your favor.
Right.
And now you need so much time to get over it, right? Like, you know, you vent or express that, find, like I said, that safe space and come in and talk to. Actually, we're the best equipped
Right.
to assist in that regard.
Yeah, because
as,
having someone
advisors and
Right.
Unofficial counselors.
True. Because having somebody that has seen it, right, and is willing to give you a point of view that's going to be helpful to you is only going to make you better.
I agree.
You know, it's not like you said. You don't have to be ashamed of where you are. I mean, everybody has had a less than favorable grade or had a less than favorable, outcome, and we're here because we've grown through it.
Right.
So
And you
it's-
can always point back to those times,
right.
right? Because those won't be the only times.
Oh no, definitely not the only times.
So what else? What advice? What else do we want to share?
So I like to give analogies. I think this one is a good one. You clean out the shelves that are stacked, your personal shelves that are stacked with all of the negativity that came from not achieving what you wanted. You know, I kind of like to liken it to a bookshelf that you have in your home, and then you've just been putting books up there. You know, you're putting books up there, and the books that you are putting up there aren't necessarily the books that you are needing to make it through this. So if I give you a new set of books, or the person that you spoke to gives you a new set of things or ways to maneuver, you can't properly store those new materials because your shelf is still full of all of that old stuff that doesn't pertain to this particular situation. Okay, so if it applies, if the book that's in the shelf in that space applies, keep it. But the ones that don't, let's move them to another place, and let's make space for the new material that's going to help you, that you will acquire from having that conversation in that safe space with that individual, that's going to help you to move past this particular moment, and then be prepared for that. So let's clean out all of the stuff that doesn't pertain to this particular moment. It helps you. It frees you. It makes you a more receptive individual. Now that you've made a conscious decision to move forward. So because we've done that, we want to make sure now that we have the space, to be able to receive that good information and material that's going to help us move forward.
That was very, very profound.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
And I think that'll be very, very helpful, students alike, colleagues alike.
Right,
Just look at where we are, and resources that are around us.
Right.
And what the current vision is, right? Or what our current goals are.
Right.
And how we're likely to use those resources to achieve
the goals that we're going. Because the success is the end goal, right? So why not prepare ourselves for that?
Absolutely. Now you're triggering the administrative side of the brain now, right?
Okay.
That from a campus point of view, and a college and its mission and its vision, and its current strategic plan.
Yes.
Right. I think it's important to understand what that is.
Yeah.
And perhaps that can be another conversation that we have. Just what is our, what are we working toward?
What's the, what's the new vision?
Or what is the current vision?
What's the current vision?
And where are we headed? Or where are we in that, right?
Yeah, because it's important. I've always been told, I've been told that when there is no vision, the people perish. So I don't believe that there is no vision. I just feel that it hasn't been made plain. Because they also say, write the vision and make it plain, so that those that read it can take it and run. So
I'm going to say this. One of our upcoming conversations will be specifically on the strategic plan.
Awesome.
And what it is, institutional agility and increasing access, so to speak, to the institution. So that is its own convo in itself. And I think that can help us to, as not individually, but as a campus or as a team, whether it be student services or academic affairs or campus administration, whether your faculty or
staff,
sports staff, we can kind of understand what those goals are.
Definitely.
And how do we align our own goals professionally to line up with that,
and see, alignment is so important, Miguel. A lot of times, and I like cars, and I sometimes do some work on my car.
Alignment,
right? If anybody has ever been in a vehicle that was not aligned, that is probably one of the roughest rides that you're ever going to have. It's going to be very uncomfortable. It's going to be, your car. You take your hands off the steering wheel, and the car goes in any direction that it wants to. So it's very tough to get to where you're going if your vehicle is not aligned.
Right.
So I say that to say, to be successful, you have to be aligned with the vehicle that you're using to take you. Or the vehicle that you're using to take you has to be aligned with what success is.
Absolutely.
To you.
So I think it's for all. It's going to be important to essentially understand, what those goals are. So we're going to wrap up here, and it sounds like our next conversation could be and will be about the strategic plan.
The strategic plan, and
2015 to 2020.
And our alignment
and
with
20,
that.
right. And not only 2015 to 2020, but we're going to be ending this cycle, and we're
Right.
going to have to construct a new vision
Right,
of
right.
where we're heading
True.
beyond 2020.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think
important.
for us, this is going to be, as you say, important, but an opportunity for us to offer some input as to where
Where.
the institution and what can be impacted,
Yes.
or where the gaps currently are,
Right.
that the institution as a whole can focus on.
And I think that's important. I don't know how much time we have, but I want to say that at this point, students need to come and let us know.
Wow.
They need to let us know because they're the ones going through the day to day. You know, we sometimes sit at a vantage point where we feel like we have a good idea to give them, you know, some mentorship or a point, you know, tell them where to go and how to do. But we're not living the day to day as a student. You know, sometimes we've been removed from being a student for quite some time, and we may not take into consideration that some things have changed. So this would be a good time for students to actually come and let us know, hey, listen, this is what's happening, so that we now can arm ourselves with the tools that we need to help you be successful.
Absolutely.
And to help give you know, other ones of those faculty members or staff members that deal with the students to you know, to help better the situation.
Absolutely. And we say that because, you know, one of the initiatives, the Blackmail Initiative,
Yes.
for example, is one of those initiatives that's in the strategic plan.
Yes.
You know,
Yes, it
that
is.
allows for
You're gonna go out through the doors. Yes. Right next to the stairs. Right next to the stairs.
so that's live.
What we do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
This is a testament, actually, Josh, to what happens when we go outside of campus.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and this morning I was getting coffee, and one of the baristas was new, but he said, I recognize you from Miami-Dade College, and you know, how are you guys doing? And my advisor was such and such, and you know, I'm at FIU right now,
Right.
pursuing what was he pursuing? It'll come to me. But he did share his pathway, and so business. So he's doing. Actually, I take that back. Education.
Right.
Yeah, education. Alrighty. So we're gonna wrap up here. We were talking
Definitely.
about the strategic plan and goals, and not just the current strategic plan, but post 2020, because
Right.
Miami-Dade College will be 60 years old, 2020.
2020,
And
wow.
I really want to have us, and I don't want to put it in a millennial bracket, because I believe that the future of the institution there's a great, and I don't want to call it burden, but a lot will be placed, will depend on our generation
Definitely.
as millennials who are here on campus, who know what it's like right now.
Right.
All
Right.
right, and I'm not saying all of you folks are going to retire, but you're going to retire at some point.
Right.
And this is not to throw shade. This is just a conversation that at some point, you know, you
baton
have
has to be passed.
Right, there has to be a transition.
Right.
So those are the conversations that I hope that we continue to have. Right.
Definitely.
Because you will be handed at all things. You continue to be successful.
Yes.
And we are, and we claim it. You're going to get an opportunity to lead, right?
Right.
There comes a time where it'll be, those conditions will present itself. So what do we do with it, and what do we do right now to prepare for it?
Right.
All right. So we're going to wrap up right here, and then we're going to continue the conversation.
Yes, sir.
mmurphy3@mdc.edu.
J Arjona1 at mdc.edu.
Till next time. Thank you.